Good evening everybody and welcome to the latest edition of High Live. We are here at Pink Diamonds headquarters and we're going to be discussing all things sparkly, and sweet and sparkly and shiny. And we are here with our special guest this evening, Nico, the CEO of Pink Diamonds, who's going to talk a little bit about his business and his life in general in China. So let's crack on. So yeah, first of all, Nico, maybe you can tell us a bit about your background and how you arrived here in China.
Okay. Hi there. So my name is Nico. Basically I came to China in 1999 the first time. I came here. I was actually still studying. I just finishing my university and studying engineering. So I came in China basically because I was French and French speak really bad English, so I needed to expatriate. So I came in China to basically expatriate, learn English and get another kind of experience. And I loved it. So I basically stayed here and got my first job afterward in China as an engineer.
Right.
So that's how I came here.
Great. So at the time you were not involved in the diamonds industry at all or in jewellery?
No. This came later. So I had a passion about minerals and gemstones.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I started to get into it.
Okay.
But for me, it was just a passion, something I like. So I basically collected gemstones, first minerals, then gemstones, and then I started to study for it just because I liked it. Just because there was something that I really enjoyed. So I built a lab in my home.
Wow.
My wife thought I was completely crazy because I was studying gemstones every day. I still had no idea to do a business out of it. And then one day I started to help another brand who was doing white diamonds. And then he was an Indian owner, he was an Italian brand, and they needed some Westerners to actually present the things. And I was speaking Chinese. I was fanatic about gemstones and I could talk about it.
Right.
So I actually helped him for a long time. And I got to learn the business and understand how diamond and gemstones were working in China. But as a gem lover, I love color. So white diamonds were kind of a little bit boring for me. So I had the idea initially to start to do sapphires and rubies and emeralds because they were not really well known in China. But didn't really stick with this guy I met because they only knew diamonds.
Okay. Well, they just wanted to keep it very traditional, very generic, the same kind of colours, not too much colour like.
Well,
what you like.
in the gem industry, diamond people and gem people are actually two kind of people, usually, okay?
Right.
It usually works like that. So when they do diamond, they don't really do gemstones, they do really understand gemstones. So I actually moved on and then I met another guy who was actually a diamond cutter, and for the first time I discovered color diamonds. In the meantime I became a gemologist, so with the GIA. So I was an expert, a full-blown expert on gemstones, but I was still not doing business out of it.
Sure.
And then I discovered color diamonds, and this is where I actually fell in love with the stones. And when I saw them, I knew this is what we had to do. So I started to buy some, sell some, and this is how we basically started.
Great. So how did you start building up your first collection? So you were saying that you were building up some minerals and some gemstones. Where did they originally come from?
Well, I just like it. It was just a fascination as a kid. My mom used to buy me minerals every time we used to go on holidays. I had different kind of stones, so I used to collect them. French love to collect, and men's love to collect as well. So I used to collect this, and then this is how I started with minerals. And then I then moved to gemstones. So I started to get all kind of gemstones, all kind of colors, exotic origin. So this is what I kept also today. Actually, what we do at Pink Diamonds is really about special stones, rare gemstones, and I kept this. So what I'm doing today as a business came from what I started to do as a kid.
And this is the first diamond business that you set up. You didn't have one before. So this is and you set up a Wolfie here.
It's actually a Chinese company.
It's actually a Chinese company. Okay. So it's like a joint venture or.
Chinese company.
Yeah. And in terms of like how the diamonds are sourced, is there any particular country or particular area that you source your diamonds?
Well, I get this question very often. Where do your diamond come from? Actually, as a diamond dealer, because we are dealers, so we basically buy polished diamonds, so they're already cut. So we buy them from cutter, so factories who cut the diamonds. Now, where they are mined, usually is very, very different. So usually they come from Russia, they come from Australia, they come from South America, they come from Africa, different kind of countries. So it depends, because we mostly deal in color diamonds, so different colors come from very different origin. So that's where they mine, but where we actually source them, we work with cutting factories. So those guys are in New York, they're in Israel, they're in Belgium, they're in Hong Kong, and many different places. So we source them depending on what we need in different places.
In China as well?
In China, no.
Not so much.
I mean, the cuts here, there is a cutting manufacturing in China, but it's mostly for tiny, small, white diamonds.
Right. Okay. And is there a specific way in which you can determine the value of a diamond? Just using your particular devices, or I mean, maybe after just many years of, maybe it's like or is it just down to your many years of experience, you just sort of know when something's pretty precious and when it isn't?
So, diamonds are, the value of a diamond is determined by its quality. And we have typically 4 criteria to look at quality of a diamond. So the weight, the carat weight, the color, the cut, and the clarity. So that's all the attributes that make the quality of the stone. Now, this requires experience. We deal with different kind of stones, different kind of diamonds. So when you talk about general diamonds, like colorless diamond, the price are very charted. They are very mapped in the industry, so we know exactly for which quality, plus minus 5%, they all be the same. When we talk about color diamonds, it's a lot of experience, because the price of those depend completely on something else, basically offer and demand. So the price are basically down, and the value of the diamonds will depend on its quality and its grade, but we also depend on the markets. How strong is the demand for that color, for example, or how strong is the offer on the market. So, for example, all those diamonds are rare, so there is a very limited offer, but for example, since a few years, green are quite hot, so the demand is high, so the price keeps raising. So that's a little bit, and it's a lot of experience.
So you're saying that you deal in both diamonds and other gemstones as well. Yeah. What's the share in your business in terms of the different gemstones and the different diamonds that you sell?
I'll say it's half diamond, half gemstones.
Okay.
Now in terms of gemstones, we do a bit of everything, like ruby, sapphires, emerald, but we also specialize in one kind of gemstones, which is called spinel, that most people don't know about. Do you know
what's it called?
Spinel.
Spinel.
A spinel.
No.
Yeah, well, most people don't know what it is. So we specialize as well in this gemstone. This is a rare gemstone from Southeast Asia. So typically it's Myanmar, Vietnam, Tajikistan, Sri Lanka, and a little bit in Tanzania as well. So we really specialize in that zone because it's also something special and rare. So again, we kept that where we were doing, or I was doing all the time, because seeking special stones.
And over the years, has your target audience changed, or is there a sort of specific type of consumer that you're targeting?
Well, it's always been the same. It's quite similar. We have, typical customers are.
I mean, Stefano.
Well, Stefano is a typical customer. You are too. So we have, beside the engagement products, rings. We actually are more in the exotic stones, so rare gemstones. So we have basically. Usually we cater more to mature people in jewelry. So there are people who love jewelry or already have white diamonds and they look for something special, something different, because once you have a white diamond in your life, but you're going to have another white diamond.
Yes.
So, as a woman, usually they need different colors, pink, blue, green, different gemstones for different occasions, for different things. And usually, men and women who love gemstones tend to collect as well, so buy different colors and different things. So our target audience is usually more more mature people and savvy people about gemstones and diamonds. And we also have a big portion of, especially in the recent years, of people who are doing it for investment.
Sure. So I was going to ask.
Yeah.
So that people just coming on and they've got no interest in wearing them or showing them off, they just want to collect them. And,
exactly. So that is also one of our specialties. So we basically sell to investors and people buy them, keep them for a few years, and then we have them put it back on the market.
And your range includes obviously not just rings, but your brooches and necklaces, bracelets,
anything.
I see. So and then some more questions. How do you market and sell your products? So do you have any physical stores or everything done online?
Yeah, so we have no physical store and we do very little online. We have a studio.
Do very little online?
Well, we do mostly on WeChat. We do promote on WeChat.
Isn't that online?
But we don't really sell there, so basically we advertise via WeChat a lot. We do a lot of events where we actually teach people. I teach people how to read gemstones. Maybe I can do that to you later.
Sure, yeah, let's say we can have a sort of mini tutorial a little bit later on.
So I teach people how to look at stones, how to understand them, how to love them, because I think the most important is that people need to really understand them to fall in love with the stones and then to buy them. So this is what I do. I basically show people how to look at them, understand what's diamond, what's special about it, or a special gem. And so this is how we do, and then people come to our studio and make appointments and come to see me, and then we look at stones together.
Great, fantastic.
I have a question actually. Living in China and because your career has been like going on for several years already, have you came across a lot of fake diamond, fake jewelry? And if yes, can you tell like by one glance that oh that's fake?
Yeah. Okay, that's a good question actually. There is a lot of fake. There is even fake certificates because a lot of people don't know that, but sometimes they just see the certificates and they think it's automatically real. So there is not only fake, but there's also you have what you call fake stone, which are imitations. So sometimes it could be cubic zirconia or it could be westernite, but you also have which are like not diamond, okay, complete imitation. Or for sapphires, it could be glass or it could be other things, okay. And then you have what we call synthetic. Synthetic is exactly the same thing, but it's made by men, and it doesn't have much value. Okay, actually, have very little value. So those are the two kind of things that are out there. And then you have sometimes also modified stones, like you can have like real diamonds, but then they irradiate them or heat them and change the color. So you have these as well. We fake certificates, so this happens. So there's a lot of these things out there. Many of those things I can spot. We can spot like easily. We can tell what's going on. Some are much harder and require a lot of experience. And yeah, that's the thing.
Because we actually, sorry to talk about translation, but we actually translated a document about synthetic diamonds recently for one of our customers who's like a diamond collector who has her own website, and she was. It was an article basically about how almost real looking the synthetic diamonds are these days, and how hard it is to tell them apart.
Synthetic diamonds or white diamonds are probably the most trickiest one because they look exactly the same, especially if they are really, really clean. It's very, very hard to tell, even for people like us. So usually we would send them to the lab for deeper checking, and they have to match the certificate. They have to cover the certificate, and they have to match the certificate. We make sure the diamond is matching the certificate.
Great. And so staying on the kind of commercial, going back to the commercial side of things. Have you actually ever thought about doing your own live streams? Showing off your diamonds through like the Taobao live streaming or the Red Book, for example?
I did actually. I did.
So you actually tried it, or you just considered it?
No, I considered it, but I never actually tried it. But I'm thinking about doing it. Maybe if there is some, if you want to know more, please let Rob know, and I'll put myself out there.
Yes.
I'll do. maybe I've been a little shy so far to do
Yeah.
that.
Obviously, it would work if you had obviously a Chinese person going through, especially on a streaming service such as Kuaishou. We use it mainly because it's the easiest one to do streaming on. But in terms of selling your products, I think there's so much commerce that goes on Kuaishou. It's incredible. If you browse through the live streams, it's just people one after the other selling things, just trying to as much as they can. So,
well, we're not selling lipstick, so it's a little bit different, but we may try.
I actually have another question still about the fake diamonds. What kind of exam do you undergo, like to see if the diamonds are real or not? Like, because I know for painting they have so many exams, like to check like quality, the age, and everything like that.
So the easiest thing, I mean the most thing, okay, to check if it's a fake or if it's a diamond or if it's an imitation, you can do that simply with a loupe. As an expert, you can look at it and you will spot the differences very easily. There is some stones which are a bit harder, like then we use all the tools, like we have a diamond tester to test the thermal conductivity of the diamonds, so that we can separate very quickly. A lot of people who do not know how to look at them will use this machine as well. That will separate some of them, but not all of them. For example, moissanite will, even with this machine, you can cheat this machine, so you'll be able to look at it with a loupe. If you're able to look at it with a loupe, then you can spot the differences. That's the very basic things to look between imitation and diamond. To look for sanity, sometimes we can tell with the inclusion inside of the diamond. The loupe, it can be very natural or it can be unnatural. So you can spot those differences with the loupe, then we know. If we can't really tell because the diamond is too clean, then we have to send to the lab and they do infrared and fluorescence tests, and they can examine basically, they can look at the structure, how the diamond grew, because they don't grow in the same way. A natural diamond takes 10 million years to grow, so this crystal pattern is different from a lab growth, which takes basically a few days or a few weeks to grow. So they grow differently. So that you can spot in the diamond with special imagery.
and do you target mainly in Shanghai, or do you go across China and meet people in other cities?
Well, we do. Okay, we are really focusing Huatong, so all around Shanghai, Zhejiang, and Jiangsu. But we do sell China-wide, and we also sell outside of China because we actually are dealers. So we also wholesale to some other dealers or some other retailers. Because we have rare gemstones, so we can actually, those ones are very unique. So we can sell them in Paris, we can sell them in New York, we can sell them anywhere. So whenever somebody is looking for those stones, we also can sell them.
Great. And what would you say like are the main differences in trend and style in terms of what the Chinese look for compared with what's popular in Europe, for example?
Okay, in terms of style of jewelry, for example, okay, so
Just in terms of people's tastes.
okay. Well, the taste has always been different. Now, in terms of jewelry, for example, the taste of jewelry, in general in Europe is we tend to show less. We want to be more sober, more simple.
Yeah.
So design tend to be a bit more simple, discreet. And in China, people like to show and want to, the more
They're still in the
so-
bling bling phase of it.
so yes, we do.
Yeah.
So in terms of style of jewelry, we do have most. Though these trends are changing as well. The young population, like sometimes a bit more things, more fashion. They don't care so much. It's very bling, but more, unique kind of design. So this we start to see with the young clients that they want something unique and design. So which is what we do as well. So designing something special. And in terms of stones and gems, yes, there is a strong appetite in China for actually color diamonds, which is still, it exists in Europe a bit, but it's not as here. Chinese people are very savvy about high-end gemstones, high-quality ones. In Europe, a bit less, they know less, they have less exposure to many of the good stones actually in Asia, so which explains also why that. And in terms of stones, for example, with spinels, we noticed that, for example, the red spinels are really in demand in China because of the red color, which is popular here. And then, for example, the blue one are completely unknown to the Chinese market, but the European are really looking for the cobalt blue spinel. So this is something that we actually really noticed. So there is difference there.
When you, just a sort of general observation around jewellery shops in China in general is that there's a bit more green than in Europe. Do you
So
say
green,
that's right?
green is a color that actually always been popular in China. Maybe because of the jade. Emerald are very popular. So yes, green is actually a pretty strong color.
And what was I going to say?
Maybe stupid question, but like the sapphire, they are always blue, or does they exist in other color?
Well, it's not a stupid question. The sapphire is actually, the base mineral of sapphire is called corundum. So corundum is the group of, is a mineral. And then if it's blue, we call it sapphire. If it's red, we'll call it ruby. And if it's yellow, green, pink, we'll call them green sapphire, yellow sapphire, or pink sapphire. And so basically it's the same mineral, but the color can be changing due to trace elements of chemical inside. But yes, they're called different.
And emerald, they are always green, right?
Oh, emerald is always green, but it belongs to another species called beryl. And the same species, not species, the group of this group is actually, you also have aquamarine, you also have morganite. So it's actually the same basic mineral, but it can have different color. But only green is called emerald.
Well, I'll ask one final question, then we can have a look at a few of your stones. Sure. It was just a quick question regarding the question that I tend to be asking each of our guests every week. Applies to most people at the moment. Is whether your activities have been affected by COVID in any way?
Yes. Well, yes, of course it has been.
In terms of travelling and getting to customers and going to events and.
I think just even simply to get people out to come out
Yeah.
and have the desire to buy something. Of course, the first half of the year has been pretty affected, and I think the diamond industry worldwide has been affected because of marriage market especially. A lot of marriage being cancelled, postponed.
Sure.
So yeah, this has affected a lot, and the traffic in shops, the traffic in all the jewelry shop, people feeling down and not buying. But we've seen in China since like 2 months a complete change in the Chinese consumer in the sense that they feel safe now and they do go out and they are buying.
Yeah, I've watched a couple of reports that luxury sector's actually gone right back up. Very famous stores, the big name luxury stores are all doing great business again. How do you fit in terms of all the big brands? Is that just a completely different market and you don't even look at what they're doing, you just sort of focus on?
Well, of course, we look at what they do, and actually, in terms of gems and in terms of quality, we actually do the same. Our focus has always been, for me as a gem lover, was to bring consumer the best possible stones at an affordable price. And we also, probably why we are not that well known today, is because we didn't spend a fortune in marketing.
Sure.
So our approach has been to be
flagship stores.
Yes. So that's been a different approach. And so of course we look at what they do, and then we laugh, we get inspiration from what they do as well. We just have a very different approach. Less marketing and more real things offering. That's
Okay, great. So have you got anything that
you want to look at something?
Yeah, absolutely. Some gems here. Let's take a look at.
this one, for example.
Wow.
This is a very large pink diamond.
Yeah. Hey. It's talking a lot. Nice, you can see.
Yeah,
Right.
we needed light. Thank you, Stephen.
So this is a pink diamond.
So this is a 2.5 pink diamonds in the center, carat pink diamonds with a lot of baguettes on the side and other small diamonds and tiny rubies at the end. Now the whole design of this ring is like a snowflake, as you can see. So that was the idea of that ring.
Great.
Wow.
Very nice.
So this is one. This is also a very special one. Now I'm not sure if the color is going to come good on your camera, but that ring, that diamond in the center, is a pretty rare color. It's kind of a burgundy color.
Yeah.
Yeah. So actually, red diamonds. This one is actually not red, but it's not too far from red. So we call this fancy deep brownish orangey pink. So it's a pink diamond technically, very strong color, a little bit of brown inside. So, and this ring is actually superbly set with like 7 carat white diamonds around, all top colorless diamonds. So it's a very special one.
So what would be a sort of rough price range for that one? We've got David asking how much are they worth?
Well, the first one is a bit more than million, and this one is around 700,000.
Don't break it, Robert.
No, I'm not going anywhere near it, don't worry.
Now this is a special piece as well, so you remember.
Where are we going to pick it up?
So this is what we call spinels, and you were asking me.
Yep,
you
well,
know,
that's the
okay.
deep red one that the Chinese are really,
So this
really
is
into
actually
at the moment.
yes, this is actually a special color. We call this like flame spinel. This is you know, the color of fire, so orange red color. It's really big with 11.9 carat.
Yeah.
So this is pretty unique. So this comes from Myanmar. This is one of my treasure. I love that stone.
Just a stupid
Yeah,
question
wow.
again. So the gem, I guess the price range depends, but what about the ring below? Do you also do that? Or like...
Yes, of course we do. So we do everything here. But most of the time, so when you have a gem like that, usually the main value of it is the gem itself. The ring itself is a minor cost compared to the rest of the stone. Now, of course, it depends if you have a ring like this with a smaller stone. Now, sometimes the gem and the rings can be comparable in terms of price.
And when do you sell? You only sell the gem, and then after you told them about the ring, or like the package?
So actually, usually people come, so we do sell finished product like this as well, but usually people come, choose the stone with us, and then we design it with them. So they sit with us, and then have a process where actually I show them different kind of design options, and every woman is different, or every man has different taste. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they will choose we'll look at different design, they tell me, okay, they like this, they don't like this, and then we'll go around that and I will design with them. So actually the process is really them designing and me assisting them and orienting them how to make it. So it's
a full package.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so we can provide a full thing.
Have you got any other spinels here? I
Yeah.
won't be able to tell one apart. This one there?
Look at this one, this is a very, very special one.
Wow, lovely dark pink.
Yeah, this is a 8 carat from Tajikistan.
Dark. Tajikistan.
It's very difficult to shoot them right. I'm not sure I don't. And here we have, for example, a lot of diamonds. So these are all color diamonds which are not mounted, and that people can choose, and then we make design for them. Now here you have some very, very special colors, like this one, for example. This is a blue diamond, but it's also like an aqua color. It's a green blue. This is a very rare color, very special. You got some other blue here. You got some greens.
Yeah.
You got some. This is actually where it's upside down here on your picture. I'll turn it around. Yeah, up like go up. Yeah, this is actually a chameleon.
Yeah.
So it's a diamond that changes color. So if I leave it in the dark and take it out of the safe, like just after just right now I take it out of the safe, you'll be yellow.
Alright.
Now it's green, right? Right. So and if I heat it, actually I can also show you that. If I heat it, and it will turn yellow.
So all of your
So, Rob, do you want to try and look it around?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll teach you how to do that. So maybe you need to have this.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
So you need this, you need this. So you're gonna take, which one you want to see? Anything special you want to see? I think these two, you'll see how it is.
Let's go for the three.
So we'll take the dormants out there. So first of all, we'll clean it. Like this. We'll try not to lose it. Okay. So I'll put the dormants upside down first. Okay. And then you'll catch it with the tweezers. So just to put it like this. And then we catch it by the corner. Okay, so now you have the stone, right? On your other hand, you take the loop, put one finger here, put one finger on the back, and then you keep your hands open. You put your forearms on your knees so you're very stable, and then we bring the stone here. One finger. So this is why we need one finger here, so we have the right distance to look at it. So, and then you block your hands, so your hands are very stable.
Yeah.
Okay, because if you're like that, you just and then you bring it to your eye like that. Like, okay, you can keep both eyes open, and your eyes will automatically focus on the stones, and you can see what's going on. So if you're good, you might see some inclusion. Okay, try it.
Oh no.
Live.
If it goes missing, we have to pay for
Take the
it.
look on the side. It's okay.
So
it's
in
not
there,
going anywhere.
So in here, like that?
Yes, perfect.
Yeah, and then so
Okay,
I'll
now
just-
catch the stone.
Yeah.
Gosh. You can do it like this. Okay. Now you turn your hands around.
It's just going to go
Okay.
flying, I know.
And then opens. Okay, keep one finger here. Now
Yeah.
those two bend them.
Yeah.
Okay, now this open.
Okay.
Okay, now bring the stone here. Yeah, okay, very good. Then okay, hold on. Now you can close this. Okay. Now bring it to your face. As close as possible. Closer.
Oh
Yeah,
wow, that's
okay.
amazing. That is amazing. Wow. Incredible. Yeah.
You can be
really
closer.
good.
You can be closer
I
to your
don't want
face.
to drop the thing.
That's okay, don't worry. Even if you drop, it's not going to hurt, it's fine.
Really? Wow, yeah. Incredible. It's almost dazzling light. Yeah, amazing. So much inside there. So much going on that you can't see with the naked eye. Great. Anyone want to have a go, you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah? Definitely, yeah. I've sold it to you.
So that's how
But yeah, I'll take over as cameraman. Yeah, no, or I can do the phone.
I'm not read it.
Yeah, Matthias is next up. I'll take this one. The sound's gone again. Okay, great. I think it's when I turn on
the first thing I think. So which finger?
Okay, one moment we'll sort the sound out.
Okay. Okay, that's good. Just like that. You let it rest. That's okay. You got your finger here. You open those two. Okay. Now pick up the stone. Alright. Now you turn it around. Yes. Open those two fingers. The last two. Yes. Okay.
Wow!
Now you can close them. Alright. Now come under the light so you see better. Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
It's amazing, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, so
So
nice.
like this you can actually really see the color.
Okay, it's a fake. No, it's not. No,
it's
it's
not.
not.
Comment on that,
No,
Nico?
it's not.
No, I'm joking. Wow, so nice. Yeah. It's very pure. Even Nico does it. You both.
So you can
Thank you. Vas-y, je prends la caméra si tu veux.
Right away, teacher Nico. Show me the way.
all the Schreiker looking at that. Okay.
Right on.
rock.
You did that before.
I did it before?
I teach you before.
I forgot.
Actually, that stone, the reason why it changed color is because when you heat it or when you expose it to light, it changed energy level, and it's basically losing an electron. Okay, so the atoms of carbon are losing an electron. So what's happened here is that basically it's changing energy level, so it's emitting photons. So it's emitting a different light that when absorbing spectrum of absorption is actually changing. So which means that it changes color. Yeah. So that's very special. Not every diamonds can change like this. Only a very few of them. They typically like yellow-green and turn to yellow or orange. And not all of them change like that good. Sometimes it's just a slight difference of color.
Okay. So I think it's if we can go back to the diamond now and have a look to see.
It's back to
yeah,
green.
it's back to a green colour now.
Wow.
Yep, it's back to green. I don't know if you can't see that well, but there you are. Look. So yeah, it's gone from a sort of golden yellow to a sort of light green. So yeah, amazing. Chameleon. And was there something in the cabinet that you wanted to show us, or something?
Well, I'll do them out. So they can be different.
Everything's good with the sun?
That's amazing. Yeah, it is. Right. So what was it next?
Well,
We're going to look at something else next.
So I don't know what I can show you. Well, I showed you a little bit. You can see different colors, for example. Those are pink and green.
Oh yeah.
It's really nice diamonds.
Yeah.
Well, they're a bit messy in my box right now, but they're a bit dancing there. But you have a pink one and an intense green one, so they are like both very special color. And so something that most people don't know, this is actually a purple diamond.
Oh right. Gosh,
That's
purple
not
one.
pink.
No, it's not pink, it's purple.
Okay.
Slight difference.
Lilac.
And, a lot of people know actually pink, but many people don't know purple. So, and actually this is rarer than pink. So typically this kind of stone is very interesting in terms of investment because it hasn't reached the price of pink, but it's actually rarer. So we look at this as a strong
The
potential
pink stones
stone.
are more expensive than the others?
Yes, because they're more in demand. But they should be, those ones should be actually more expensive.
Okay.
If you want to invest,
I'll show
purple.
you something
Go
that-
purple.
Good advice.
showing some
Purple,
which is-
the underdog.
So those are diamonds which are
Here we go.
Of course, so those are diamonds. This is what we call champagne diamond.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
With the bottom.
You can. So those are basically champagne is anything mixed with yellow and brown, so brown yellow or yellow brown. So the color can be quite nice and exotic. They're still diamonds. They're rarer than white. They're rarer than yellows, but still they are very cheap diamonds at the moment.
Right.
All this because there is not much demand for them yet. The general public does not know too much about them, so the price is still very affordable. So those are good diamonds as an alternative for somebody who wants actually something special, yet not something special. I mean, even something different from a white diamond. So this is a 2-carat diamond, for example. It's very similar to the price of a 1-carat white diamond. So even for young people who get married and want something different, they can actually choose a diamond like this, which is actually a nice alternative to tell them your fiancé, well, you got something very different, and it's actually without breaking your bank account. So those are a nice alternative for people. All right.
And are there any kind of new areas that you're looking to branch into, or are you looking just to continue with the same types of stones that you
Well,
sell?
we're always looking for exotic stones and other potential stones that would be good for the market.
Yeah.
Well, we haven't pushed too much. We always have a little, different ones. new stone don't come out every day.
Sure, yeah, it's not like a new season. It's not like selling clothes. It's not like a new season each time. So yeah, there we are. I was just wondering if anyone had any questions in the chat.
On average per month, how many new stones do you get?
Sorry, it's variable, but sometimes we have hundreds of new stones. Okay. Sometimes just a few. Depends on where we find, where we source. Because I'm always on the lookout for special things.
Okay.
Really, what we look for is special things. So whenever I find special things, I just buy them and stock them and offer them. So it really depends on what's available on the market. Sometimes we don't find anything really special.
Okay.
Sometimes we will have access to some very, very special things. Even much larger or much bigger, rarer, more valuable diamonds we also will have.
Okay. And have you traveled to any mines or something like that?
I don't travel too much to mines, but yes, I did a bit in Sri Lanka.
Okay.
I did no diamond mine there, but mostly sapphires mine. Myanmar for spinels, yes. But we don't necessarily need to go to mines too much. We have, because we work mostly with stones already polished. So we don't necessarily need to go to the mines.
Okay, so you don't polish them yourself, right?
No, we don't polish ourselves. We basically start sourcing where the stone is polished. We actually, for the spinels, we operate a little bit differently because we actually source them. We have somebody to source them in Myanmar, source the best stone. I go to select them and then we recut them to make them actually completely perfect. Usually we do this in China.
Great.
Good.
Super duper, very interesting. You've got a few other little bits and pieces here. Are there any sort of measuring devices down here that you use? Or not?
You mean any special?
No, I don't know.
Funny things I'm
Yeah,
using?
or just another magnifying glass there.
What can I show you? I'll show you how to use a diamond tester.
Ah,
I
yeah.
would.
I knew there was one more. I knew there was one more. I knew there was one more thing.
I have a lot of gadgets, but not easy to. Okay, so I'll show you how to use that. This is a good thing to separate cubic zirconium or simple imitation of diamonds with diamonds. Okay, so these machines basically it tests the thermal conductivity of diamonds. So diamond has a unique property; it conducts heat very fast. So that machine basically applies heat and calculate how fast the heat dissipates. So I'm going to calibrate it basically. So here and now. Take a diamond, or take a ring. For example, I'll take a ring and then I can test the sound. And then when it beeps like this, that means it's a diamond. Then the center one you see with the color one, it's also diamond. So it will also be. So that machine will separate basically diamonds and non-diamonds. Okay.
Sure.
It has limitation. There is one stone called moissanite, which can cheat this machine. And actually, it was designed by people to cheat diamond dealer. Okay. So to cheat this machine, the diamond dealer do not know too much how to look at it with a loupe. They will use this to go fast, or because they don't know how to look at them. So they'll use that and then they get cheated.
So the guy that actually invented this machine just sort of used it so that it would even work with fake diamonds, or what?
Well,
or just a certain type.
So it will work with there's only one, so only moissanite will work with this machine. Yeah. Now, so if you take this one for this ring, for example, so we have a spinel here, and with diamonds on the side, say for diamonds up. So for diamonds will work, and the top one, and the spinel, it doesn't work. Okay, so that's exactly how you can see if it's a diamond or not a diamond. Now I don't have fake diamond here, so I can really show you.
So you're talking about the synthetic diamonds, so they would
So
work with this?
No, synthetic diamond is a diamond. So this machine will not detect if it's synthetic or natural. It will just tell you it's a diamond.
I see.
Right?
So it's still just
Yes, this
beep, it
machine,
would just still beep away like it did.
this machine is useless for sanity.
I
This is
see.
right.
I see. Got it.
So this is why you need a certificate
Yeah.
with it to.
So if someone came along and said, "Oh, I'm not," you know, to anyone, and they just said, "Oh, I don't know if this is fake or not. Can you test it?" And then you said, "Oh, if it beeps, then it's real," and then they would walk off thinking, "Oh, yeah, I've got a real diamond." Or,
Well, I do that very often. So we do have people working with diamonds, and sometimes we repair. I actually inspect every single stone I receive. So I check what it is, because if we take stones for repair, we need to make 100% sure what it is. So I'll look at them. This morning I had one repair, for example, and the lady who brought it to me didn't tell me there was a synthetic. It's a true story. It just happened this morning. And didn't tell me first, but I noticed something weird with the diamond, so I actually tested it and tested diamonds. But she actually told me that is a synthetic, but I noticed the diamond was something not.
she knew.
Yes. So I kind of spotted that the diamond was not a natural, normal diamond. So we do that with this all the time. Sometimes I have people who bring me all the stones that come from estate jewelry, from parents or grandparents or great-grandparents, and they don't know what it is. So we test it, and sometimes you ruby, sapphire. So this I need to go under more complicated testing. I use different kind of instruments to calculate the density of the stone, to check. I use the microscope to look inside, to see what kind of inclusion it is, to see patterns inside the stones. I will check the fluorescence as well to see if the stones fluoresce, and then with those tests I will be able to tell you if it's a ruby, a garnet, a spinel, or a different kind of minerals.
Right.
So this is actually, we actually do test them.
Great.
Yeah.
One question about when I buy a diamond, do I an expensive one or collection kind of thing? Do I get a certificate of ownership?
No, you don't get a certificate of ownership. That's yours. You keep it. That's your ownership.
So I can give it to whoever I want.
Yes. Absolutely.
Okay.
And the certificate of conformity, like to prove that the diamond is a real one, you do it yourself, or there is any agency specialized in that or something like that?
No, so all diamonds are normally certified. You can grab one. Where are they? You see the box of them? Pick up one of them. And the box of plastic box behind the desk.
Oh yeah.
That is the pick up certificate.
Yeah, absolutely. GIA.
So typically we'll certify stones with GIA certificates. So I am a GIA gemologist, but I cannot issue this. Okay, so every diamond is certified by GIA independently, so it's a third party. So we send the diamond there, the GIA will grade it and say what quality it is, if it is natural, exactly all the specs of it, and has nothing to do with us. So GIA does not even listen to us if we tell them, oh, the diamond is this quality. No, they will judge their own quality and put it on the certificate. So they are a third independent party who certified what it is and how it is, how good it is. Now GIA, there's a lot of different kind of certificates out there. GIA is the best of the best for all for diamonds. They are very strict with the standard, and I highly recommend anybody who's buying gemstones or a diamond to actually use a GIA certificate. So you can have sometimes HRD, which is a Belgian one, or EGA, which is a Euro one. Their standard is much lower, so they will get much nicer grade, but it's actually very different from the GIA one. So if you want the right standard and knowing exactly what it is, you better get a
These
GIA.
guys, that's reliable.
Okay.
Great. Okay. Well, how fascinating! Really interesting. Yeah, I couldn't believe it when I actually looked through right up close with the magnifying glass. It's amazing. I don't think I've ever looked at a diamond as closely as that.
And you didn't expect I would do that to you.
No, I was just didn't think you'd trust me with carrying the diamond, sort of break them in some way. Anyway, okay, well, thanks ever so much for joining us, Nico, and thanks for inviting us into your offices and for a fascinating look into your diamonds and your business. We wish you all the best in this difficult time, but
Thank you, I
I'm
appreciate
sure you'll get through it. Yeah, that's what I can say really.
A lot of new customers.
Yeah, and So yeah, we'll make a nice highlight show and we'll put it on YouTube and we'll put it on our WeChat channel as well. And so you can post it on your moments and show off your collection.
Did they have a way to contact you as well?
I guess you can help.
I will put your contact
Yeah.
on the chat.
Okay.
Yeah, and we can also put your details in the WeChat in our community group as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'll get you back out.
Yeah,
So I'll do that.
does you have a website? Yes, it must have. Yeah. So I thought we can put your website on the screen as well if you want during the little clip that we do. We can put it in the description in YouTube. We'll put that on.
Fantastic, guys.
Okay, great. Well, thanks a lot for tuning in, and we'll see you all next week.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Thank you.